Well, good Wednesday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and we have a lot of weather to talk about for tonight. But before we get into that, as you can see by the main screen, the main topic, this heat wave is just getting started, and also a tropics update as well. But mainly, heat wave that we have going on is just getting started, and it's going to get worse. Is going to get worse. We're going to see way hotter temperatures. We're going to see heat index values up into the upper 100 in teens potentially. Like, it's going to be hot, hot. Some of the hottest days that we've seen possibly so far this year. That's at stake as we move over into the next couple of days. But before we get into that, what's on tap for tonight? Hot and humid conditions persist into the next week. Excessive heat warnings are in effect. Showers and thunderstorms possible this evening and Thursday. A weak cold front may come in Friday and Saturday, may bring some increased storm chances and slight temperature relief. And then oppressive heat and elevated heat indices resume after the weekend. So, we have this oppressive heat that's going to be here as we move over into like the weekend going to around Friday, but then Friday going into Saturday, we're going to start to see a cold front come in, try to bring things down a little bit. But for right now, the heat's here and some cooler air could be coming in behind it. So what's currently going on? Well, as you can currently see, we have we now have a special weather statement up here inside of the northern parts of the state. That's Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, going on over towards Cross Anchor and Jones Ford, South Carolina. That is for 40-mile-per-hour winds and maybe even seeing potentially a half an inch to three-quarters of an inch of hail. We also do have some rainfall with maybe some hail going on near Clemson. And then as you move over into other parts of the upstate, some more showers starting to get going. But look over here throughout the low country, the Midlands, the PD. We're actually looking nice. No rainfall as we move over into tonight. Now, we do have some rainfall currently going on right now, or some advisories going on right now over near the coastal flood advisories right now for the next 2 hours from Charleston County, coastal Colleton County, all the way up into Georgetown County and Horry County. Those areas, all four, have a coastal flood advisory for, again, the next 2 hours. And so as we scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., we do see some severe thunderstorms moving on over in New York, some rainfall in New Hampshire, also over inside of Kentucky. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, 70-mile-per-hour winds. We have some more flash flooding in Indiana with some severe weather in Missouri, Illinois, and then some severe weather in Colorado. We also have some more severe weather in Nebraska, rainfall, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, and then some rainfall over towards Nevada, Arizona, California, receiving some severe weather. Now, what's going on right now in terms of cloud cover? Well, it seems like that we are looking at a good amount of cloud cover from the upstate to the PD, even into areas of like the Midlands. We're looking at a good amount of cloud cover right now. And everybody else, I mean, you look from the low country to the Grand Strand areas, we are seeing some clear skies kind of moving throughout these areas. And if we go in and take a look at our cloud cover for the future, what does that look like, you may ask? Well, as we move over into tonight, going over into tomorrow, watch as we get to around 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We start to see some of that cloud cover activity continue its way over into the east, start to cover up the entire state, almost cover up the entire state as we move over into Thursday, late morning, going to the afternoon. And watch as we move later on into the afternoon, going into the evening, going over into the nighttime hours, that cloud cover activity starts to really bring its way, kind of makes a little bit of a curve up there in the upstate, but still makes its way down and covers area of the low country, the Grand Strand, the PD, and it covers things up, even moving on into, what is this, Friday. This is Friday morning right here going into Friday afternoon. And once again, covered. Now, this is the day right here that we could potentially see some cooler air from a cold front potentially try and move in. And this is what is on the table here. Now, in terms of our current temperatures right now, we're talking about 83 inside of Somerville, 85 in Charleston, 86 Hilton Head Island, and 88 in Georgetown, 83 Myrtle Beach, and 87 in Conway, 90 Columbia, Orangeburg, 89 in Sumter, as well as 80 in Greenville, 83 Spartanburg, and 82 in Gaffney, 82 York, and 85 in Clemson. Now, what about for our air quality? Well, for tonight, it does look like that we have a couple of moderate areas going on right now, whether it be from the upstate or parts of the upstate. Well, I already said that, but parts of like the Spartanburg areas going into areas like the Rock Hill, York areas, moving over towards Florence, down I-95 towards Manning. Moderate risk is there as we move over into tonight. So if you're in the yellow areas for tonight, make sure that you are paying attention for that air quality. But if you're not in the yellow, you're good. Green and good for tonight. No bad air quality is expected for you. Now, what about your low temperatures for tonight? You're talking about 72 in Spartanburg, 76 in Columbia, Sumter, 76 in Orangeburg, as well as 75 in Moncks Corner, 80 inside of Charleston, and 77 in Georgetown, 78 in Myrtle Beach, and 79 in Hilton Head Island. Now, I'm not trying to jump scare you when I show you these high temperatures for tomorrow, but high temperatures, we're talking about potentially 99 in Columbia, 98 in Orangeburg, 97 in Walterboro, Moncks Corner, Kingstree, 95 in Georgetown, 92 in Myrtle Beach, 96 Hilton Head Island, and 96 in Greenwood, 95 Anderson, Greenville, Spartanburg, and 96 over in Rock Hill. Now, what about for our heat index values? Again, not trying to jump scare you. 113 near Charleston, 113 Hilton Head Island. You're even seeing 109 Moncks Corner, 110 in Walterboro, 107 in Myrtle Beach, potentially getting up into the 110 areas in Horry County in those central areas. You're talking about up there in the upstate, even though, one of the cooler areas. You're talking about 103 in Greenville, 103 Spartanburg, 108 in Columbia, 106 over inside of Orangeburg. And so, doesn't matter where you are, you're going to see those hot temperatures of up to 100 degrees plus. Not only just 100, but potentially 102, 103, 104 degrees plus as we move over into the next day, which is tomorrow, Thursday, August the 13th. Now, this is just the beginning. As I said in the beginning for the official topic, the main topic for tonight, the heat wave is just getting started. Just getting started. It may get worse for some areas as we move later on, especially into early portions of next week. It may get worse. But if we go on now and take a look at our rainfall to see how much rainfall we could potentially receive over the next 24 hours, it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. You're talking about 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch in areas like Newberry, Aiken, moving over near areas of Columbia, near areas of in the low country, the upstate, and then maybe even a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch in some other areas like up there in Oconee counties. But for the most part, it's only really isolated to maybe widely scattered. You're not seeing anything too widespread. And not only that, but if you're not counting flash flooding, you're not counting thunderstorm activity, you are not seeing a lot in terms of total precipitation here as we move throughout the next 24 hours. And so this rainfall that we see here over the next 24 hours may not be a lot for a whole lot of people. So keep that in mind, unless, like I said, a thunderstorm comes in, drops a bunch of rainfall, rather has to do with flash flooding or whatever the issue may be, a severe storm, torrential downpours, that can change things up. But for right now, this is what we're looking at base totals. Now, for the SPC outlook for tonight, we still have a marginal risk of severe weather with winds of up to 60 miles per hour still possible in some of those storms. And right now, we're seeing winds of up to 40 miles per hour in these storms up here in the upstate. So not quite 60. Will it get back up to 60 right now? I guess nothing's impossible, so it is possible. But for right now, it's staying at 40 and not looking like it's trying to try and push its way up right now. At least for now. Now, if we go in and take a look over into tomorrow, another risk of thunderstorm activity is possible. Rather it be up there inside of the upstate, or rather over in areas of the low country or the PD or the Grand Strand areas. Doesn't matter where you are, thunderstorm activity is possible for you as you move over into Thursday. And then on Friday, another risk of thunderstorm activity once again here on August the 14th. So thunderstorm activity is going to stay with us, and we know that it's going to potentially get even more widespread throughout the state as we move into the weekend due to a cold front coming in. But, what it does seem like is that those increased storm chances will mainly take place going into maybe Saturday. So we'll see what happens, especially for when it does come to excessive rainfall. And speaking of excessive rainfall, here we go. Starting off here tonight, isolated flash flooding is possible up there in the more northern upstate towards the foothills. And then look in the coastal low country. Apparently, there is a risk of isolated flash flooding down here. I don't think really too much of anything happened, but we do see this risk down here. So we're going to, say that it's there and say that there is still a risk of isolated flash flooding down there. But like I said, there's no storms right there to really back that up. So I'm not too concerned about areas down there. And now for tomorrow, almost the exact same area. Literally, this is tomorrow for Thursday. And you can see compared from Wednesday to Thursday, not much changes. And so, same thing, the upper upstate going into the coastal low country, risk of some isolated flash flooding tomorrow. Friday comes in and things take a change, a turn here. And watch how it goes towards the eastern parts of the state. Now all the PD's in there. Now almost all the low country's in there. A good amount of the Midlands, including the central Midlands like Columbia, and a good amount of the upstate from Greenville to Gaffney to Rock Hill has a risk of isolated flash flooding as we move over into that Friday. So what does that mean for as we go over into Saturday? Okay, Saturday things start to spread out. Still, another risk of isolated flash flooding here from areas of the upstate over into the low country, over into the Grand Strand. Okay. See a little bit of a hole up there near Gaffney, near Rock Hill, York, Fort Mill. But then what about Sunday? Sunday things calm down, and we're not looking for anything too bad on Sunday. But the clear testament here is that as we move away from tonight, we move away from tomorrow, this is what we're looking at. But then we move into Friday and we move into Saturday, and that isolated flash flood risk increases as we move more into the weekend here. So keep that in mind and make sure that you have your flash flood plans in place just in case if worst does come to worst. Now, what about for the crazy score? Right now we're at a 29 special weather statement, kind of carrying it right now. We have the 2 up there. And then we have a couple of coastal flood advisories right now from Colleton County up into Horry County. So that's also adding us into that mild category for right now. But nothing too bad. Nothing too concerning at the moment. So let's go on now and take a look at the models. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Please make sure that you pay attention to that because time is very, 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 very important. And you don't want to get lost. You do not want to get lost because if you lose track, you're just going to have more questions. You're going to be more confused. And we don't want anybody to be confused here. So we're going to start off here at 8 o'clock p.m. You move this into around 10, 11, even to 12 o'clock in the morning. And you see a lot of that shower and the storm activity still potentially possible as we move into the overnight hours. We get to around 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. And in fact, I'm even going to do something on the fly real quick. This was the 18Z. Let's go to the 22Z real quick. Yeah, we're going to start off here at the 22Z, actually. So we're actually going to start off here, 8 p.m. You push this forward, and like I said, still shows the risk of some shower and some storm activity post 12 o'clock in the morning. And as you even move into around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., a lot of that rainfall kind of goes away. And you don't really see too much of it as you move later on into the early morning hours, into the later morning hours, and even the early noon hours tomorrow. Now, as we go in and take a look over at noon, past noon, Thursday, push this forward, seeing some more showers, some more storm activity starting to pop up into the state, maybe by around 2 to 3 p.m., and it pushed its way down towards the south, and as we get into around 5 p.m., going in all the way to around 6 p.m., we start to see some of that shower and storm activity start to spread, not only from just the upstate, but over into the PD, the Grand Strand, the Low Country, all of these areas starting to receive a good amount of shower and storm activity as we move over into the evening hours even. Look at this, 7 p.m. on Thursday. We see shower and storm activity that gets going from areas of the coastal low country into areas of the coastal Grand Strand areas as well. That moves into 10 p.m. And as we move to around 12 o'clock in the morning on Friday, moving into Friday morning, Friday afternoon, the same process repeats over and over and over again to where we go into the overnight hours. Showers and storms kind of linger, go away. We get into the morning hours, and then the later morning, the early noon, don't see much. Afternoon pops up, bang, there you go, showers and storms starting to form. And that's the same thing that we see Thursday, even going into Friday as well. But Friday, you could actually see some shower activity before noon even happens. So, we'll see. what happens there for the future, but this is just what we're looking at for the 18Z. So let's go on now and see how much rainfall we could potentially receive here. As of from 3 o'clock p.m. today to around 2 o'clock p.m. on Friday. Let's see how much rainfall we could potentially receive during that time frame. And you can see, I mean, a couple of spots may get up to around an inch or two, but, not bad. And so that's why you're not really seeing maybe a slight risk of excessive rainfall as you move maybe into Friday or so, just because you're not seeing too much here in terms of 2 inches or 3 or 4 or 5 inches. Now, again, storms can happen. We know that storms can occur and that storms can overproduce, overperform. And so, rather it be 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches, all of that we just have to keep an eye on, and unpredictable until the storm really happens. One thing that you can also look at as well is the actual precipitable water values. This is around, maybe 1 to 2 inches of rainfall up inside of the atmosphere. And it all kind of falls even as you move into around, as you move over into around, this is, what is this, Thursday evening going to the nighttime hours. Then as you move into Friday, again, some spots to where you see maybe an inch or two up in the atmosphere, but nothing else higher than that, really. So what about the long-term future now? So we're going to start off here at the 48-hour mark at around 2 p.m. Watch as we go on and move this forward. We get to around Friday evening here or so. There goes our low pressure. There goes our cooler air trying to move in as we move over into Friday evening. We go over into Saturday morning, and we still see a good amount of shower activity going on, a good amount of thunderstorm activity going on. But then as we move over into Sunday, moving even into Monday, more shower activity, more storm activity for us. Even as we go over into, what is this, Tuesday, Wednesday as well of next week. And the rainfall activity kind of just trains over and over and over again, going from Thursday going into Friday of next week, to where another big storm system may be trying to come in at that point in time. And so the main thing that I'm kind of keeping an eye on here for the long term is how many cold fronts could we see from this? How much rainfall could we potentially receive from this? What's going on in terms of the timing of it? These are all questions that I'm trying to get answered. I'm trying to see what's going to happen. And it looks like that it's going to be even more active as we move later on into the later portions of August. So, honestly, I'm more of just looking at what in the world is going to happen in terms of the timing. If it brings cold air, how much cold air could it potentially bring? How much rainfall could it potentially bring? Because it looks like as we end off August, things will continue to be active for us. So do not think that the rainfall is done. Even though you may not have seen rain for a couple of days, you may think, oh, well, I guess the rain's done. No, 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 no. We still have a long way to go here for when it comes to this rainfall. Now, how much rainfall could we potentially receive over the next 384 hours? And the GEFS says around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, if not more than that. And so that's great, We have a drought going on right now, which, by the way, Drought Monitor updates tomorrow. It updates tomorrow. So please make sure that you're there so you can go in and participate with us. I'm really excited to see what the Drought Monitor has to say for us for tomorrow here. But this is what it currently looks like. We are currently inside of a drought right now. But one thing that I am kind of a bit interested in is what is going on with the European model. Because if you compare the European model to the GEFS model, they are polar opposites. The European is saying some spots may get less than an inch. You see where some areas get maybe close to 2 inches, but not quite 2 inches or so. And so, why in the world is the European model so doubtful on this rainfall over the next 360 hours? I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, even if you move into, what is this, 200 hours out or so? Let's do right here, 200 hours out. What do you see? Some areas a half an inch. Some areas close to an inch over here near Charleston. 9/10 of an inch over here near Myrtle Beach. And then look over towards our west. I know that that's not our area, but obviously we have Thad here. He's in San Antonio. If we just go in and take a look, I'm sorry, I know this is off pace, But just look how much rainfall that they may not see over here towards the south. I mean, towards the south central U.S. Some areas may not even see around a tenth of an inch. Some areas may not even see around 2/10 of an inch or so. And that's just what the European is saying. The GEFS though, just seeing if it agrees with it or not. Unfortunately, it does actually seem like that it does. So I do apologize for that because obviously I know that y'all need the rainfall as well. And I would like to come on here and say and just be truthful, and to not be truthful here and kind of just say, well, at least they're a little bit different, because the GEFS shows a good amount of rain for us, the European doesn't. But I mean, to be brutally honest, both models show just nothing. I mean, a half an inch over 384 hours, that's atrocious. I'm just going to be honest with you. But back over here and back on track, why is the difference so big? And I guess in the long run, we'll really see. I guess the European just doesn't really like the idea of an active pattern with just widespread rainfall going on and kind of providing us a good amount of rainfall. Like I said, in the end, we'll see what happens. Now, let's go on now and take a look over at the temperatures now, because precipitation, good to look at, but one of the real main reasons why a couple of people may have tuned in tonight is these temperatures, because this heat wave, like I said, is just getting started. Just getting started. And so, we're going to start off here on Wednesday, going over into tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're 10 to 15 degrees above average. We move over into Friday, 15 to potentially 20 degrees above average tomorrow. Like, it's going to be hot. We move over into Saturday. Okay, maybe 10 degrees above average, but not bad. Not bad. Sunday comes in. Okay. Okay, we're starting to get back into that 15-degree range. Would maybe like to be a bit less than that. And then Monday comes in and knocks everything over, getting back up to 15 to 20 degrees above average. Tuesday comes in, same thing. Wednesday comes in again, 15 to 20 degrees above average into next week. Wednesday, Thursday comes in, still Friday of next week. And then finally, maybe another little cool down maybe trying to occur as we get later on into next week. But the heat just continues. It continues, and it continues to be oppressive until we get into late next week. So, what do those temperatures actually look like? Well, we can go on and take a look at that right now. We go over into Friday. Friday comes in, we're around 104 degrees as 104 degrees as an actual temperature in some spots, according to the GFS. Now, this is just a long-term model, but this could happen. We go over into Saturday. We're around the 90s or so. Sunday comes in, back up into the triple digits, but then Monday comes in. Monday was looking pretty bad yesterday. It kind of calmed down, and in fact, it looks like as you move later into the week next week, it gets worse. But yesterday, Monday was showing like extremely dangerous heat, not showing it as much, And then as you move over, we're not going to push that all the way through just because it's over 200 hours and there's no point in really showing that. But you can see kind of what we're looking at. And so if we was to move back past the next 200 hours or so, I mean, you see that we're still inside the 90s. I mean, we are still inside of the 90s, even as we move into late next week. 98 as an average high going into next week Friday. I know it's 222 hours out. I know. But that's just straight up hot. If that was to be the case there. But as you move forward even further into the future, it does look like a cool down as you move later on into August, which that is what the deterministic said. So, cool down could potentially be coming in later on, past next week. And then one more thing real quick, the heat index values. As we move over into Thursday, tomorrow, we know what that's going to look like. Friday comes in, and again, we could be back up 110 to 115 degrees or so. Saturday comes in, again, getting back up to 110 degrees plus. Moving into Sunday. Sunday comes in. Sunday's hot as well. Monday comes in, and again, back up to 113, 114, 115 degrees moving into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. One thing that I also did see while I go in and wrap this up real quick is the National Weather Service said that there's a potential for 117 degrees potentially. So, I mean, This is real. This is the real heat index here, 117 degrees, and some areas, like I said, may receive 100 plus degrees for an actual temperature. So a lot to go on in terms of the heat. Dangerous heat is on the way. At least I consider 115 degrees to be dangerous. But that's just what we're looking at here in terms of temperatures here, and that's all I have to say here for the main forecast for tonight. But before we move on and talk with the audience, we have to talk about the tropics real quick because we have seen some crazy new updates. Number one, Tropical Storm Cristobal is now over inside of the northern Atlantic. It is moving away from us. It has no threat to South Carolina, and it will probably die off sometime tomorrow, late tomorrow. So, no threat to us, and we look pretty good. Right now, it's maximum sustained winds of around 45 miles per hour, moving east at 21 miles per hour, and no threat to us at all. No threat to us at all. Now, that's just storm number one. That is just storm number one over here. What about for the other two? What about for the other two areas that we see? Well, disturbance one, we've been watching this for honestly what feels like almost about like, because it's Wednesday. I think we've been watching this since Sunday, Monday, maybe earlier than that, I think. So we've been watching this for a good little bit. But anyways, disturbance one, 80% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and over the next 7 days. Showers and thunderstorms are showing some signs of organization with a tropical wave located midway between the Lesser Antilles and the coast of Africa. Environmental conditions are forecast to become conducive for further development, and a tropical depression will likely form during the next day or two. So we could see the next tropical depression, next tropical storm over the next day or two, while the system moves west to west-northwest across the central tropical Atlantic. Now, upper-level winds are likely to become too strong for development as the wave approaches the Lesser Antilles this weekend. And so, what does this really mean? Will it die off? Will it go on and, try and break through? We can go in and check that out. But the ensembles aren't really the most excited about it. Right now. And I'll show you why. But that's disturbance number one. And then the new one, disturbance number two. This one also took a big turn. Right here, it says the Eastern Tropical Atlantic. This is now an Invest 2, Invest 94. A tropical wave located a few hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands is producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity. Environmental conditions are forecasted to become generally conducive for some development, and a tropical depression could form late this week or this weekend. So another tropical depression or storm could potentially form as we move over into this weekend here. So we have the next two names on standby potentially. I know the D name is Dolly. there. The other name, I feel like I do know. It's, I think it's Edward or something along those lines. It is Edward. Okay, so Dolly and Edward are the next two names here for the next two storms. So we're gonna keep on looking at it, gonna keep on, checking it out. But for right now, I'm not really the most concerned, and I'll show you why right now. This is the hurricane models here for 92L. This is the first one that we looked at, the one with the red, the 80% chance. This one has an 80%, obviously, I just said that. And look at the track with this from the hurricane models here. Most of them have it going towards the south. You have one, two, maybe trying to curve its way up towards the north. But not really making too much of a push, really. And, we're still a bit far out, so things will still change. But most of the actual models here have it kind of going more down towards the south instead of up towards the north. Okay, that's just one set. What about the GFS? The GFS has it not really even transforming into anything more than like a storm, and maybe not even becoming a storm at all. And then goes down towards the south, Doesn't impact us as much. It impacts, the Lesser Antilles, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico potentially, but not really impacting us at all. And then if we want to take a look at the European kind of has it going up towards, again, the southern areas, not quite making it up towards us. And if we look at the intensity guide here, it looks like that the majority kind of get it up to tropical storm, but it goes back down. But a couple tries to resurge a little bit more. So we'll see what happens there as we move, 120 plus hours out into the future. But for right now, it looks like that most models have it becoming a tropical storm, and then kind of dying down immediately. And then if we go on and take a look over at 94, this is the other one here, the orange one. Only one hurricane model is really active for right now, and it just continues its way over into the west. The GEFS, a couple get strong, and it actually does have a good chance to try and curve up towards the north. So, if anything, I'm probably more interested in that orange one more than the red one area that we're watching for. The European also kind of is saying around the same thing, has a little bit of a curve up towards the north, and then in terms of the intensity, almost all has it getting to around a tropical storm pretty quickly. So, like I said, I think the orange one probably has, or disturbance 2, probably has most of my attention right now. Has a 30% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 50% chance over the next 7 days here. And then before we go in and talk with the audience, one more thing, and I promise I'll be done. I know I'm taking a long time tonight, but I mean, there's just a lot to talk about. Just a lot to talk about right now. And that is just what could potentially break this thing down. So this is the GFS right here. You move this forward. There goes our two areas that we're watching for. The first one goes off, dies off into the Caribbean, but then the second one comes in, and it actually makes some good progress. It actually moved its way up, but then it takes a downward spiral down towards the south and west and dies off. Just dies off immediately, pretty much. Now, the European, more on the northern train as well, but the thing is it dies off. And I can still actually kind of see the moisture with it, but the actual storm itself just dies. You go on and take a look at the AI, the GFS AI model. This one goes up towards the north, provides some good rainfall over to Puerto Rico, over to Cuba, maybe even to Florida, but doesn't do anything. And so it just seems to die off just due to upper level winds kind of just tearing it apart. And so that upper level winds that we see here could definitely save us a lot. But that's pretty much all I have to say there. Nothing else really for me to say. And we're going to go on right now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say here for tonight. We're going to start off with my Aunt Lulu, who was here first tonight. She says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. In Georgetown today, our high was around 93. Felt like it was around 100 degrees. Currently, it's 82. Well, thank you so much for that weather report for where you are. Let's go in and check out what happened at my house today. It was around a good 84, and it actually still feels like 91. Yes, it is 8:33 p.m., and it's 84 degrees, feels like 91. 91. Now, as we move our way back over here, my nana says, hello, Jay and all, another nice day today, or another nice warm day today. Well, thank you so much for the weather report for where you are. My Aunt Lewis says, we had a great day, especially if you stayed inside like I did. I realize that we will have some hot days ahead. The report I saw today was a heat wave on the way. Absolutely. My Nana says, I didn't water my rose yesterday or today. They look sick. Well, I mean, yeah, you definitely want to get on that because it's only going to get hotter from here. Trail says, greetings, everyone. Greetings to you. Thad says, good evening, Joseph and the 360 Weather family. I trust all is well. It was another hot yet beautiful day here in San Antonio. We enjoyed a high of 103. Felt like 114. Luckily, my sprinklers came on this morning and will come back on around 9 p.m. We are in dire need of some rain. Please continue to pray for the people of Colombia who were affected by the 7.4 magnitude earthquake. The death toll is at 250 with over 3,000 people injured. Well, first off, absolutely. And then second off, thank you so much for that report as well. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Everyone, please stay out of the heat, stay hydrated, and stay safe. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Miss Tolliver is here. Says, good evening. It was a very hot day at my house today. The hummingbirds did not come out for nectar until later in the day. The pond life is very active in the evening. Glad I caught you this evening. Well, thank you so much for being here, and I do appreciate you for being here. I hope things cool off in September. The heat is ridiculous. Well, I mean, honestly, this is just summer for us. And a dangerous summer heat at this point. Dangerous summer heat at this point. And so, what I do think is that we're gonna have a long time before we get down towards those cooler temperatures again. But I will say, watch for this weekend, Friday, Saturday. It's still gonna be hot, but not gonna be as hot. And then next week, later on next week, watching for some another cold front to potentially come in, bring us some more cooler weather. So we'll see what happens there. But the heat's just getting started. And then Thad says, send the rain to me. I'll pay for shipping and handling. Absolutely. Even for when it does go to both of the ensembles that we were looking for earlier, I was kind of shocked, to be honest, that the European and the GFS is so in disagreement. So in disagreement for when it comes to South Carolina. But then I went down there to Texas and, oh, what do you see? They're both in agreement that you are not seeing a lot of rainfall. I just found that kind of interesting, to say the least. And that's all that I can see here throughout the chat. So, first off, because I forgot to do this at the beginning, and, for the people who have been here for the beginning, since the beginning, first off, thank you so much for being here the entire forecast. It's been almost 40 minutes. But, number one, congratulations on making it halfway through the week, as it is Wednesday evening. So that's the first thing. Congratulations to everyone for making it to Wednesday. And then number two, it's time for the top fan question of the night for tonight. You might be asking, top fan question of the night, what am I talking about? It's where I go on and ask a question, see who was paying attention, and to see who can get the question correct first. But, hold on. Wait a minute. We have a twist tonight. There is no question for tonight. There is no question. You might be asking, what in the world is going on there if there's no question tonight? We're changing it up. If somebody I have not checked yet, but if somebody sent me in a picture, because I say all the time, I could randomly go off and see who sent me in a photo or who was here first, and whoever goes on and does that action that I want to see will go on and could potentially win top fan of the night. Now, mostly is questions, but for tonight, let's change things up. Whoever sent me in a photo tonight, let's see if anybody did. They will be the top fan of the night for tonight. No questions asked, and I do. And it was from Thad. And Thad said, ugh, so hot. My plants and yard are suffering. This is the picture that he sent in right here. Hold on, I'm getting it right here. There it is. 100 degrees. And guess what? You're 100 degrees for today. Just won you top fan of the night for tonight. So congratulations to you. So again, like I said, that stuff can happen sometimes. Just, you never know. You never know. Just whenever I feel like it. Whoever sent me in a picture, maybe it's who got here first or anything. Because all of that matters. And if you want to be like that, like I said, you have to be a subscriber. You have to, be active inside the chat. You have to go on and be here early. And then also just be active in general for when it comes to maybe sending emails or sending in pictures, to my new website, scweather360.com. Not really so new anymore, but it's around a month old now at this point, I believe so. scweather360.com. So that's where you can go on and submit the photos at. So let's go on now. Since that is all said and done with, talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking 4 areas. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we go in and give them their forecast for them. bless me, and thank you to anybody who said bless you. Um, Starting off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight at 77. High temperatures for tomorrow at 101. Low temperatures tomorrow night at around 78. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. You're unfortunately not looking the best there. But I will say, for when it does come to your future, you're still not seeing anything. That was a joke. But I shouldn't be joking like that. That was my apologies for that. But you do need the rainfall, and you're going to continue to stay dry even as you move over into next week Wednesday, where your high temperature on next week Wednesday is 100 degrees. Yes, 100 degrees for you. So no relief in sight, and it's going to continue to stay like that. And I really do hope that you see just any sort of random pop up shower or storm that just does get going, because you need it at this point. You need it at this point. For Raleigh, North Carolina, you have low temperatures tonight at 73, high temperatures for tomorrow at 97, low temperatures tomorrow night at 75. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow, but tomorrow night there is a slight chance of thunderstorm activity there tomorrow evening. And then as you move over into around Friday, Saturday, or so, rainfall is possible there. Monday going into Tuesday, you also have a chance of rainfall over there as well. Now, it does look like your temperatures will continue to stay up into the 90s even as you move into next week. In fact, kind of on the same wavelength as South Carolina, to where you have a heat advisory for tomorrow. Temperatures then try to kind of cool down as you move on into like the weekend. But then as you move into next week, things get back to being hot. Severe weather for you. Maybe could see some isolated severe storms on Friday, but for the most part, not seeing anything else. Now, for excessive rainfall, no excessive rainfall for tonight, tomorrow, but then Friday comes in, and you see some isolated flash flooding that's potentially possible. Now, as we go on and take a look at Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 70, high temperatures for tomorrow at 89, low temperatures tomorrow night at 71, chance of thunderstorms for tonight, and then tomorrow, no precipitation is expected. You could see some isolated damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour. You do have a severe thunderstorm in Scranton, Pennsylvania right now, so pretty far. But again, just some isolated storms going on around you. Good chance that you may not see any rainfall at all tonight. It's a possibility. And then for excessive rainfall, nothing for tonight, tomorrow, but on Sunday, isolated flash flooding is possible for you. And then finally, as you move over into Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 78, high temperatures for tomorrow at 105, low temperatures tomorrow night at 77, no precipitation tonight or tomorrow. And then for your future, looking pretty good, but you do have a risk of fire weather tomorrow and Friday, so don't burn anything tomorrow and Friday if you do not have to. And then that's about all. You're gonna stay dry, stay hot, and kind of gonna be right there with San Antonio for when it does come to this heat. In fact, you're even gonna be hotter than San Antonio will be. And I think that's all I have to say here for tonight. I don't see anything else inside of the chat for me. Honorable mention for top fans of the night. My Nana was on there. And then also my Aunt Lula was there as well. Them two are honorable mention for tonight. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. So again, congratulations to y'all. And that's about all I have to say here. One more thing. What's going on throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise? An active pattern will continue to bring heavy to excessive rainfall and flash flooding threats to the Midwest and the Ohio Valley over the next couple of days. Dangerous heat will continue across the central and the southern plains and the southeast into next week. And then there is a potential for record-tying or maybe even breaking temperatures, with many areas forecast to see their hottest temperatures so far this year, from the central U.S. over into the southeast. So, like I said, there could be some record-breaking temperatures. There could be some record-tying temperatures as we move over into the next week or so. So please make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. Please make sure that you are checking on pets, neighbors. Make sure that you are keeping yourself safe. Make sure that plants are also good as well, because this heat's about to be just not relentless at all. Even the low temperatures as well. Low temperatures could just be in the 80s for some areas. So it's not going to be fun at all for a lot of us. But that's about all. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Thursday morning forecast update. Remember, tomorrow evening is the drought forecast update, so we'll be back for that. And then also make sure that you hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. We're at 823, trying to get to that main goal of 900. We're getting closer and closer to getting there. 2 subscribers away from the quarter of the way goal, 825. But that's all. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure that you're there for that, and hit those 2 buttons before you leave if you are new.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off of my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How, how, how.
Hey.